So you hear a lot about total estimated cost, especially on the WIP schedule. That's a crucial input for calculating your over/under billings. But what does it mean, and how do you get there? What goes into it? So the idea of total estimated cost is that it's the total amount you expect to incur to complete the project. So on this project we have here, this hypothetical project, the price, what the owner is expected to pay you is 2.5 million. What you're expected to spend on that project, on completing that project, is $2.2 million. So how do we get that amount? Well, it's broken down by different categories, which I've listed here. We have subcontractor costs, material, labor, and general. What you should see in your trial balance is different accounts for these line items. So if we go under your job cost, we'll see a separate account for each one. And why this is helpful is when you receive an invoice from your subcontractor related to this job, you know that you need to record it to the subcontractor expense and also to this specific job. And the same with material costs, same with labor, same with general expenses. You have some basis for tracking progress. You can expand this list as much as you want and put in overhead and labor burden, which is all the benefits and taxes and all that associated with labor. You can go really complex. Depending on your size, you don't really need to get that complex. You need some basis though, and starting simple is key. You don't want to go too complex, but having some basis to set that budget in the accounting software and have a way to track it too. That's the key here. So you see, I've listed the total estimated cost here, and over to the right, I've just made up some numbers as we're incurring those costs. This 6% is the total cost incurred divided by the total estimated cost, which is 6%. This is the idea of tracking progress using the cost to cost method. So you take your costs incurred divided by total estimated cost, you're 6% complete. Now, that doesn't always work, right? There could be different reasons why you may be further along or further behind than this, but it's a fairly straightforward way, an acceptable way to track progress, which is key. That's why it's very important to keep your information neat and clean. Neat meaning you don't have 50 line items here that doesn't really speak to your accounting software, because it's crucial that you line up your estimate amounts with what's flowing through the trial balance. And by that, I don't mean going into the trial balance and necessarily saying, hey, we're under budget on subcontractor costs on this job, or we're over budget. It'll be helpful, and you can definitely do that. But it's with this total estimated cost. As you're running through the total costs incurred on that project, you can keep track of it and see how far along you are, if you're over or under at the moment. I hope that was helpful. If not, please leave a comment below, and thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you in the next lesson.